Welcome to Wish I'd Known Then podcast. I'm Sara Rosette.
And I'm Jami Albright. And today we're catching up.
We are. We're just going to take this time to say Happy Thanksgiving if you're in the U.S. and talk about what we've been doing because we haven't recorded in 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah,
because we've both been traveling. You can go first, or
I'll go first because you probably have bigger things. So I went to Author Nation at the beginning of November, and oh my gosh, I just enjoyed it so much. And I can give you at this point, so a week out, week and a half out, I can give you a enthusiastic 2 thumbs up. I love the way it was set up. I heard people saying it had a lot of feminine energy, which is never a bad thing in my opinion. The sessions were, I love the topics of a lot of sessions. Did I go to a lot of sessions? No. I was there for the networking and to see my friends. I will say that Drew Davis was the keynote speaker. It was one of the best speeches I have ever seen given, ever.
Wow.
Ever. And I was not the only one that said that. It was on building curiosity and tension and stuff like all the things we know as authors. But the way he told that story, it had an A story, a B story. It was so well done that it made me think, you know what? We need to step up our game if we're speakers in this industry, because I think it's easy for us to just kind of depend a lot on the content, which is what people want, and not worry about the presentation and engaging them and exciting them about the content. Instead of just delivering the message, making them excited about the message.
Yeah.
And it was such a great speech. I mean, that's what he does. He's a speaker, but it still was so well done. I like the way they set up the vendor day. It was a lot bigger. And Ingram, Lulu, sound booth, Amazon.
Everybody was there, right? I mean,
yeah, Amazon. And then there was a few other smaller ones that I wasn't as familiar with. Were there until Wednesday, I think, or Thursday. I guess till Thursday. So you could talk to them, as you went to a session and learned something, you could go back and talk to them about it and get information, even if they weren't the ones giving the presentation, but you heard something and thought, oh, I might need to talk to, whoever. And so that was really great. Book Funnel, of course, was there. So they were a big sponsor. They did things in the evenings that were super fun. I went to one because I was participating in it. It was the Story Wars. Kelly Little did it. He was with Find a Way Voices used to be. And it was so fun. If you guys get a chance to participate in Story Wars, do it. It is like impromptu writing. And so they give you, so they hold these competitions around the country, they do them on Zoom or whatever. And they give you 3 prompts and then so they judge you on how well you did the 3 prompts. And then there are these other little factors that they judge you on and you can win, based on those. And then they needed 4 wild card spots. So I signed, I put my name in the hat for a wild card spot because I was feeling super sassy that day. I had on a sparkly skirt and I was feeling sassy when I signed up. The next day, not feeling as sassy, but it was still super fun.
So this was like you were writing a story then.
They give you the prompt and you have 5 minutes to write, and then you share what you've written. It was so fun, and the audience had such a good time, and they made it super fun. And the 2 girls who one got first place, the other got first runner-up. They were the regional winners that did that. And I will tell you that it was hard. The first question was a relatively easy one. Write about something you're afraid of and make it funny. every fear I've ever had left my brain as soon as they said, I wrote something. I mean, you could write it, you could sing it, you could
Oh my
improv it. I mean, you
gosh.
could do whatever. So, but I wrote something and I was the last one to go and I'm listening to all these others. I'm like, this isn't funny. Like, this isn't funny. So something else that I was afraid of popped into my brain. So I stood up and did a whole,
You
I think
improv.
90 seconds to do something. It was my fear of being seen naked, has inspired me to work on my marriage, being seen naked by anybody else. And so I did the whole thing on that. And yeah, and it got some laughs, but it was hard. It's super
Mm-hmm.
hard, but it was also really great. It's a really great challenge. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
the people who had done it before did better than the four of us. Well, except for one girl, she did pretty good. The four wild card people. So
Yeah.
that's that. What else? What else? What else? What else?
Did you have your
Oh,
session?
yeah, yeah. Gosh, forgot about that. Yeah, I did a Wish I'd Known Then panel. So
Uh-huh.
I asked all the questions we asked on the podcast. I had to really work hard on that. And when I had Honey Phillips, who is a just super successful monster romance, kind of cozy monster romance author. Tony Lee, who writes thrillers, he's very successful and been doing this a long, long time. I mean, just writing in general. He's written for comics, he's written for TV, he's just done.
Wow.
Lisa Wells, who's a super successful rom-com author,
Mm-hmm.
and Kevin McLaughlin, say the nicest man in indie publishing. He really is, and phenomenally successful with sci-fi series. So we had different genres. They all answered.
Mm-hmm.
They answered all the questions. I was thinking we wouldn't have time, but they had cut because I thought we had an hour, but they had
Right.
cut it down to 45 minutes. So
Mm.
we had time for the questions, and then a couple of people asked some questions.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah, it was good. And it was really fun. And they did such a great job. They were very gracious and just shared a lot of really good information. So that was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was on Tuesday, the first full day of the actual conference. The first on Monday was the what you call it? The
Like the
industry
welcome, the
day. Yeah, the
intro thing.
industry day thing. Yeah. So it was great. It was
Yeah.
great. And I loved it. I love seeing everybody. I saw Joanna Penn.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of changed my life in that. I mean, we had a short conversation, like 15 minutes, but she was like, what's been going on? So I was telling her, she
Mm-hmm.
knew about a lot of things. And I said, but I am writing. And she said, stop it. And I said, what? And, because when Joanna says stuff like that, you're like,
You pay attention.
yeah. And she's like, stop trying to justify your existence. Like, you have a place at the table.
It's very true.
Full stop. Full stop. You don't have to if you never wrote another word, you have a place at the table. And it was, of course, other people have said the same thing to me, but when Joanna says it to you, you listen.
You give it a little more weight, right?
Yeah, here's a bit more weight. And so, yeah. And so we talked in and then we had another conversation. And anyway, it was just really great. And yeah, I just saw a lot of great people, met some great new people, met and hung out with some people from Clubhouse, which I loved because I'm on Clubhouse every morning. And that was really great. And yeah, it was an opportunity to wear some really cute outfits. And I love that because, don't get dressed most days. So yeah, it was great.
Well, it
And
sounds good.
then, yeah,
And you're definitely going to go back next year, you
I'm
think?
definitely going to go back next.
That's what I've heard. People really liked it.
I'm
So that's
definitely
good.
going back next year. And Joe and Susie did a great job, and Shell putting on a great conference. I mean, there were some issues in that, like the rooms were like most of the thing was super freezing, but these
But
four
that's
rooms that they
so
have,
common.
that they have where they had to hold some of the panels or talks were so hot that they were trying to figure out how to
Oh,
get box fans in there. I mean, it was like
wow. Yeah. But I mean, that's common.
That's common, and that's not
It's
the
either
thing.
too hot
Plus,
or too
they
cold.
were they're kind of hemmed in this year by some of the arrangements that were made
Right.
prior,
Yeah.
to them taking over. But, and Craig was there, and it was great for Craig to get to see people and,
Mm-hmm.
kind of have a handoff sort of thing. I can tell you that I did not feel like it was 20 Books 2.0. I didn't.
Well, I think they were very intentionally trying to make it
Yeah,
something new.
it was not just about a conference, but about how can we help you move on? How can we help
Mm-hmm.
you move to the next, And it was not a lot of that hamster wheel thing, which
Mm-hmm.
we've talked about before. Yeah, it was great. Shell and them did a great job with the programs and the speakers, and there were some good good voices in the conversations, and yeah. And then so I was coming home on Saturday, and on my flight, my daughter messaged me, and my daughter with 5 kids, whose husband's been out of town and is losing her ever loving mind, and said, "He's home. I'm going to Paris. You want to go too?" And I said, "Sure."
Because what else would you say?
Because what else would you say? So I booked my flight sitting on the plane home from Vegas to Houston, landed in Houston. My husband met me with my passport and a few warmer clothes. I changed things into a bag in the parking lot. He drove me around. I got off, went back through security, got on a flight to Atlanta, then Atlanta to Paris. We stayed there 2 days, had a fantastic time. Just so much fun. It was such an atmosphere trip. Like we
Yes.
walked and walked and walked, and then we would sit in a cafe for an hour and
Mm-hmm.
watch people and eat baguettes and drink
Mm-hmm.
champagne, and then we would walk some more, and it was so great. We got to see Moulin Rouge, which was phenomenal, and
Yeah.
saw the Eiffel Tower, at midnight as it lit up, and
Cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was wonderful. And then we got on a plane and came home. It was so great.
You should just always have your passport on you.
I will always,
You just have
always.
it in a
'Cause
special
this isn't the
pocket.
first time. This isn't the
I
first time.
know.
In the summer we had to get
Yes.
whoever Juan is, to
He
drive
was
my
your courier.
passport. Yes, I'm using air quotes, courier, to drive my passport from Houston to Dallas so we could jump on a plane and go to Mexico. So yeah, my passport will be with me at all times.
I think that'd be wise.
Yeah. So that's me.
Oh,
I'm home. I'm exhausted, but feeling really great. I worked on the plane. I'm
yeah.
working on my story, and I'm excited about it. I've got some really good ideas. I talked to Becca Masor, had dinner
Good.
with her and Inez and Leslie Penelope. I got to
Mm-hmm.
hang out with them, and let me just tell you, I mean, there is nothing like hanging out with smart women and
Mm-hmm.
just being in their presence.
It's
It,
very idea
ah,
inspiring and just like
yes,
you get your juices going
yeah,
to do
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and Leslie and I got to talk more than we really ever have. And I
Mm-hmm.
told her the next day, I said, I enjoyed it so much. I'm a little intimidated by you. One, you're gorgeous. And two, you are just so damn smart.
Yeah.
But I just love talking to you. You're so brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, but in talking to Becca, I got some ideas just about kind of what people are going to be looking for maybe in
Yeah. Which is
books, and
good. Yeah.
it was really great. And yeah, so now tell us
Wow.
about you, you little
Well,
world traveler.
Well, obviously, I'm not like you though, because I had to plan this. But of course, that's part of my enjoyment is looking forward to
Yes,
it. So we've been
yes,
planning this for months. But we
uh-huh,
did the Mediterranean cruise. We
yes.
went into Rome a few days early, stayed
Um,
there, and I did not realize this. There's a big jubilee coming up in Rome.
uh,
And I'm really glad that I've been there before because everything we went to see was blocked off with scaffolding. They're
uh,
cleaning and repairing everything. So it's going to look beautiful for
yeah,
2025. But
yeah.
right now, you can't see anything. But
Oh,
we still had a fantastic time. We ate so much pizza and gelato
uh,
and just walked around and went to all the places that we like to go
yes,
to around there. It's a
yes,
good walking town,
right.
walking city. So we did that. And then got on the boat and went to Florence. And, you're a long way actually from Florence.
Yeah.
So we did some things that were closer. We did Lucca, which I'd never been to. It's a little medieval walled town. Loved it. I want to go back there. And then we set it up so that, or we picked a cruise that you were on the boat in the evening, going in your new place the next morning, and we could go do something, get back on the boat. So we went to Monaco one day, and then we went to Marseille one day, and then we went to Montpellier, I believe is how you say it, and then Barcelona. And in each one of those places, we did things. And like when we were in Monaco, we did a day trip to Nice, and then we saw some of Monaco. So it was very short. So we didn't really get to spend a lot of time in each place, but we got to, I mean, how else are you going to see that many countries? Except if you're going really quickly. But it was great. The cruise was great. The food was good.
What cruise line was it?
It was Viking. We'd never done that. And I was looking for one that did the south of France because one of my books is going to be set in the south of France. And I was like, let's do a cruise. And so I found this one and it matched up. Everything was perfectly planned, like timing on things, and it all just went very smoothly. The only problem we had was my wide-legged pants got stuck in an escalator in the train station in Rome. Fortunately, I was able to extract them without losing my pants.
Oh my gosh. That is one of my very biggest fears. I could have written about that in my thing now that I think about it. I've seen those horrible videos, people.
Well, I didn't even realize I had a huge grease stain on the back of one of my pant legs, the cuff part or the hem part. But other than that, everything else was fine. And so we had a good trip. Got back, and I'm still on that time zone. I'm a little messed up, and I've came back, and I have a really gravelly voice. I've got a cold, but I'm getting over it. I decided that when I got back, I signed up to do Becca Syme's 5 Phases of Author Business course.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and so it started yesterday, and I've been to the first couple of sessions. And basically, you can do the whole thing, or you can go to the introduction, figure out which stage you're in, and then just do that stage. So that's what I'm doing. But it's very interesting. It's all the stages that every business goes through. And if you can figure out where you are, you can figure out what your challenges are and things to watch out for, and also the good things about being in that stage. And I think it's really going to help me figure out what I need to stop doing. We talk about pruning in an episode that's coming up next week. And I think that I need to do some pruning because I have a tendency to just pull and start doing all kinds of things.
Well, you enjoy it.
Yeah, I do. But I mean, I can't keep doing everything. No, I can't keep piling on. So started that. And then we've had Victoria Tate on the podcast. And I got this. She did a Kickstarter, a Christmas book.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
She did the sprayed edges. I mean, it is so beautiful. It's got color inside. You can't see it, but Jami can. And then the front of it, I mean, it's just beautiful. So shout out to Victoria. She did a great job on that. So that's like all I've been doing except laundry and like trying to get adjusted to the time zone again.
I'm really proud of myself. I unpacked because, I had to unpack from Vegas and and I did all that this morning. I have done 2 loads of laundry, which is good. But because I have a tendency to live out of a suitcase, I hate unpacking.
And I do too. I do good. I get my big stuff out. And then it's like that little, all that extra stuff. Did you get any souvenirs or anything?
No. I did not have one bit of room in my bag and then I packed really poorly because I should have told my husband, I have this carry-on rolling suitcase that I got specifically for things like this. Did I tell him to bring it? No. I said, bring that bag you got me for my birthday with the J on it. Because I had one carry-on bag, and then I was just going to put a few things in that one.
Little,
but the carry-on bag weighed almost 50 pounds, and I'm sweating. I sat down waiting to get on the plane, and I realized it. I'm like, what is that noise? I realized it was me going, because I had been
so exhausted
running through the airport and, carrying this thing on the way there. On the way back, it's a lot easier. But I was by myself going.
Right.
I there are several assault charges, I'm sure, that are coming my way.
From your bag.
From
hitting
my
people?
bag, hitting people while I was trying to get on the airplane and get it up in the overhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fail. That was a total fail.
Well, so that's really funny because for this trip, I don't know if you've seen the Instagram, TikTok video advertisement for a bag that unzips.
Yes. Did you get that?
I got it and I didn't realize it was coming from China. So it got here 3 days after we left.
Oh,
so I didn't get to try it out.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. I'll tell you if I'll take it to some conference.
Yeah, see if you use it. So one of the things that I did when I was at Author Nation was, so I did find some people I want to have on the podcast. So I wasn't just there hanging out. Like I got cards.
You were
from
working.
People. I was getting cards from people, and I want us to do, I think it needs to be a 2 episode on, writing authentically from perspective of authors of color. And they did a panel on making big bucks doing that. Leslie Penelope was on it. Yeah. Shannon Murphy was moderating it. But I will tell you this, and I'm telling our audience, because I really don't know what the, ethnic breakdown of our audience is. But if you see that come up, please listen to it, because I went and sat in on that panel, because if I have them on the podcast, I want to ask intelligent questions. And I almost started crying listening to them because they're super successful. Like some of them on that panel are, and in that room, the women and men in that are super successful. But as hard as things are for us, we think sometimes, us being white women, white men, whatever challenge we have, they have that challenge 10 times harder.
Even more, yeah.
10 times harder. And I'm telling you that because proximity changes things. And until we see things from not just like their lived experience, but until we embrace that with authors of color, I just don't think we're going to get it. And it's not their responsibility for us to get it. So I'm really grateful that they're willing to come on and talk to us and help us see these things, and also to see how crazy successful they are. Like, do you guys know a romance author that is more successful than Kennedy Ryan right now? No, you don't, because she is killing it. So, we tend to dismiss it, I think. And anyway, I just
sounds
put
good.
that out there because it was so inspiring and so humbling. And they deserve a voice. They deserve to be heard. They deserve to be people in this community that we listen to and follow because they're so smart. And anyway, that
sounds good.
That's my pitch for that. But there'll be other things, like there was an accountant that I talked to, so I'd like to have her on, and we can talk about some things there.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
We will have, most of that will probably be in 2025.
Yes, it will be. It will be.
We will have lots of plans for 2025, and
which is our 5th year, y'all. That's starting our 5th year. Can y'all believe it? Y'all been putting up with me for 5
for a long time.
Years.
Both of us, Yeah.
Well, you're a lot easier to put up with than I am. So anyway, that's my update. I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving. I'm probably going to be helping Alexa with some parties because she's got big events back to back to back between Thanksgiving and the week of Christmas. And so I'm probably going to be helping with that, but trying to also get some writing done.
So that is our catch up.
Yeah. And Tug says happy Thanksgiving. Oh, that dog.
It's not a podcast without a dog or a baby,
without
right?
a dog, I know.
We'll see y'all next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.